Jon has been undisputed this whole time, and I'll stand by that forever until someone else tries to do something about it. And if it's not Tom, then someone else can try too. So Jon is definitely undisputed right now. We got a new generation of teenagers that are just like, oh, but we're gonna forget about Jon beating Shogun. We're gonna forget about Jon beating Machida. We're gonna forget about Jon beating Evans and Rampage and everybody else, and you can't discredit it. You can't.
However, Gable Steveson also said he connected with Jon Jones a few years ago after Jon followed him on Instagram. He was supposed to join Jon's training camp before the Stipe Miocic fight, but Jon got injured. Later, Gable reached out again, and after calling Jon on a Saturday, he was in New Mexico training with him by Monday. Gable called the experience unique and eye-opening. He said Jon was a big reason he wanted to start fighting. Although he had always been interested, Jon helped ignite his passion and belief that it was possible.
Yes, I did. Unique experience. I connected with Jon maybe a few years ago. He followed me on Instagram, and from there, I was supposed to go to his last camp when he was first gonna fight Stipe, but he hurt his shoulder. And so I reached out to him and I was like, yo, do you still wanna have me come down? And I kid you not, I called him Saturday. By Monday, I was in New Mexico with him, like getting ready to practice. So man, unique situation, really cool, really eye-opening. He's definitely the real reason why I want to put on the gloves.
On the other end, Addy Pimblett said that he really likes Tom and thinks he's one of the coolest guys in all of MMA. But even though Jon Jones is getting older, Paddy still can't pick against him. He believes Jon Jones has the best fight IQ in the world and maybe of all time. According to Paddy, Jones always comes in with the perfect game plan to beat whoever he's facing. As much as he wants Tom to win, he just doesn't see himself choosing anyone over Jon Jones.
Do you think the Aspinall-Jones fight happens?
It's got to happen. I was sitting next to Tom the other week at the UFC in London and talking to him about it.
How do you think that plays out if they fight?
I'll be honest, Tom's a friend. I love Tom. He's one of the coolest dudes in the whole of MMA. Even though Jones is getting old, I just can't pick against Jon Jones. The one thing I do think Jon Jones has got the best in the world and the best ever is his fight IQ. He has a perfect game plan to beat that person. As much as I love Tom and I want Tom to win, I couldn't pick against Jon Jones. It's just something I couldn't do.
However, Gable Steveson said he thinks Tom Aspinall is a great interim champion and deserves the attention he's getting. There's been a lot of talk about Tom and Jon Jones, but Gable believes Jon has always been the true undisputed champion. He said he'll stand by that belief until someone actually proves otherwise. If it's not Tom who does it, then someone else will have to try. For now, Gable sees Jon Jones as clearly the undisputed champion.
Well, you're a big guy. What do you think about Tom Aspinall?
What do I think about Tom Aspinall? Oh, man, I think Tom's a great interim champion. He's a really great interim champion, and there's a lot of buzz about him right now, about him in the Jon Jones situation. But I feel that Jon has been undisputed this whole time, and I'll stand by that forever until someone else tries to do something about it. And if it's not Tom, then someone else can try too. So Jon is definitely undisputed right now.
Moreover, Demetrius Johnson complimented Tom Aspinall's talent, but felt Jon Jones would beat him without much trouble. He said he'd rather see Jones fight Aspinall than Alex Pereira, believing Jones would have a clear advantage. Johnson also mentioned that Aspinall asking for $30 million could be one reason the fight hasn't happened yet.
Jon Jones will smoke Tom Aspinall.
I don't know, man.
Man, he'll smoke Tom Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall is athletic. I think Tom Aspinall would try to take the fight to Jon Jones, and it'll be interesting to see. Like, I'd rather see that fight over Alex Pereira.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
I agree. I would like to see that fight over Alex, but come on, man. Aspinall is a great fighter. Yep. He's a good champion.
Aspinall.
That's what I said. Jon Jones will smoke Aspinall. Yeah. Smoke him.
I can't wait to see. I hope it happens. That's the fight that needs to happen. I think Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones needs to happen.
Why do you think there's so much friction there? Why do you think it's not happening? Why? Because we see so much.
I think Jon Jones
said
he wants $30 million.
However, Gable Steveson also expressed respect for Tom Aspinall, praising his determination to secure a fight with Jon Jones. However, he believes it's unfair to judge until Jones returns to the cage, highlighting that Jones has remained at the top for nearly 20 years, something no one else has achieved. Steveson is frustrated that younger fans often overlook Jones's legacy, forgetting his victories over legends like Shogun Rua, Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, Rampage Jackson, and Daniel Cormier. He acknowledged the controversy around Jones, but emphasized that Cormier's only losses came against the best, reinforcing Jones's unmatched status in the sport.
Tom's a go-getter, and he's trying to fight for what's right and trying to get the Jon Jones fight, and I applaud that. But until further notice, until Jon steps in the cage, I feel like we really can't say nothing.
I mean, it's been, what, 20 years? 20 years he's been on top. No one's done that.
No one. So, and we're in a new generation of social media that kids haven't recognized Jon's past of being that great. So it bothers me because growing up, I'm watching UFC and I'm watching Jon take care of business when I'm 9 and 10 years old, 11 years old, and now we got a new generation of teenagers that are just like, oh, but we're gonna forget about Jon beating Shogun. We're gonna forget about Jon beating Machida. We're gonna forget about Jon beating Evans and Rampage and everybody else and
Cormier. Son and Cormier twice. Oh, he pissed dirty, they say.
Cormier's only losses are to the best guys in their weight class, like forever best guys. And so you can't discredit it. You can't. So, and do I like Tom? I think Tom's cool, but...
Moreover, Israel Adesanya pointed out that Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall are close in size, with Aspinall being a bit taller and more solid. He acknowledged that Aspinall's speed could be dangerous, but highlighted Jones's grappling as a major advantage. Adesanya said that until they actually fight, no one can truly say who would come out on top. He added, the matchup is exciting, unpredictable, and one fans truly deserve.
But he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick. Yeah. And I was like, you're a lot thicker than I would expect. Yeah. And the speed, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt. But Jon it's different. Yeah. But I don't know, man. They gotta fight. But if they don't ever fight, we'll never know.
Jamahal Hill said Jon Jones has always stepped up when tested and believes a matchup with Tom Aspinall could be one of his hardest yet. He thinks it would be a great fight, but it all comes down to whether Jones is willing to take that risk. Hill added, it's the kind of fight fans want and respect.
Jon Jones has taught us anything. You can never count him out. You never count him out no matter what the challenge is, no matter what. He's always risen to the occasion and risen to that challenge and perform exponentially. So I think that it'll be a good fight. I believe it'll be a good fight. I believe it'll probably be one of the harder fights and harder challenges that Jon has had in his career. So, I mean, it's all about if he wants to challenge himself like that or not.
Kamaru Usman thinks Tom Aspinall is the most dangerous heavyweight and the toughest challenge to Jon Jones's dominance. However, he recommended that Jones secure his financial situation before taking such a risky fight. Usman emphasized the importance of being smart before stepping into the octagon.
You hit the nail on the head. I do think Tom Aspinall is the most dangerous heavyweight right now. 100% the biggest threat to pry that belt away from Jon Jones. But Jon has got to get that bag.
Dricus du Plessis recognized Tom Aspinall's youth and determination, but also pointed out that Jon Jones is getting closer to the end of his career. He shared his hope to see Jones retire undefeated and for Aspinall to emerge as the next big star in the sport. However, du Plessis also acknowledged Jones's warrior mentality and his ability to make tough fights seem effortless, reinforcing his legacy as the greatest of all time.
Aspinall is young, he's hungry. You have Jones, who is definitely at the end of his career, what's he, 38 years old? I don't need to see this because he's never been beaten. I want Jon Jones to retire unbeaten, and I want him to retire, and Aspinall goes on to be the next big thing. But Jon Jones, being the warrior that he says, pay me enough and I'm doing it. Aspinall wants it, and one of them has to lose that fight. And that's the one thing, you look at it and go, Aspinall's probably going to win. But then, if you ask me that, I say, no. We've said that so many times with Jon Jones, and it makes it look easy. He is the greatest of all time, for sure.
Daniel Cormier finds the situation between Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones strange and difficult to comprehend. He says that if given the opportunity to face Jones, he would expect a substantial payday and would demand significant compensation. Cormier notes that Jones doesn't fear Aspinall, viewing him as just another opponent he believes he can defeat. However, Cormier recognizes that Jones is aware of the risks involved in the fight. He also mentions that when the betting odds were first released, Jon Jones was considered the underdog, which is uncommon since Jones has seldom been placed in that position throughout his career.
This whole Tom Aspinall, Jon Jones thing, for lack of a better word, is just weird. For me, it's just weird. Like, I don't get it. If I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be compensated. I want to say it. I want that you money. Jon Jones shooting straight. Because at the end of the day, guys, I will tell you, not afraid. Tom Aspinall to Jon Jones is just another guy that he would fight and that he believes he can beat. But what he does want is to get paid. And I think he recognizes the dangers in the fight. I mean, when this line opened, Jon Jones was an underdog. Jon Jones was the underdog. I don't even know if there's ever been a time in his career where someone has been favored to beat Jon Jones, and I think that concerns him.
Cormier also mentioned that Jones has been preparing fans for the end of his career, suggesting this could be his final major fight. He doesn't believe Jones will stick around solely for money if things begin to decline. Regarding timing, Cormier thinks the UFC likely already has something lined up or nearly finalized. He also suggested that Jones should fight sooner rather than later, as each month that passes makes him older, while Tom Aspinall continues to improve.
If I was Jon Jones, I would do this earlier than later, because every month that passes, he just gets older, and Tom Aspinall gets better. So I would try to do this as soon as possible. I wouldn't want to wait till New York next year, where he's almost 38, 39 years old. With that kid just continuing to improve.
UFC welterweight champion Belal Muhammad believes Tom Aspinall could be Jon Jones' toughest challenge, citing Aspinall's strength and speed as traits of the new generation. Although Muhammad thinks Jones may still win, he suggests the fight would only be worthwhile if the financial rewards are significant. Belal predicts Dana White will push for it due to its profit potential, but speculates Jones, having cemented his legacy, would prefer a fight with Alex Pereira unless the payout reaches $30 to $50 million.
If I'm Jon Jones, like, a lot of people consider him the GOAT, the best fighter ever do it. The next hungry lion is Aspinall. It's probably the toughest fight that he'll have. Like, this guy's the next generation. He's a lot stronger, a lot faster. But I think Jon Jones is good enough to beat him. But it's like, it has to be worth it. The fans are fickle, right? You lose one fight, they're gonna, he sucks. Right? They just care about your last win or your last loss. I think Dana White and them will end up making it. Dana White's a smart businessman. He knows how much money that fight would make. If I'm Jon Jones, you've already done everything in the sport. It's not worth it unless it's that $30 million, $50 million payday. If I'm Jon Jones, I'm picking out Pereira first over Aspinall.
Eddie Hall believes that if Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall were to face off, Aspinall would come out on top. While acknowledging Jones's impressive record, Hall thinks Jones is avoiding a fight with Aspinall. He mentioned that Jones has even expressed a desire to retire after his next fight, suggesting he's not interested in fighting Aspinall. According to Hall, actions speak louder than words, and he believes Jones is ducking Aspinall.
Jon Jones or Tom Aspinall. So if you don't know MMA world, sorry to bore you, but Tom Aspinall is UFC's #1 right now. Jon Jones is, he's seen as the best MMA fighter on the planet. Dana White's got a massive for him, says he's unbeatable. Honestly, I think if you put Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall in a room and said one man leaves, I think Tom Aspinall leaves that room. I genuinely do. I think Jon Jones, I mean, I can't badmouth the guy. He's got an amazing record, but he's definitely ducking Tom Aspinall, 100%. And I think he's even said he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall after his next fight. He's pretty much going to retire after this fight, so he's ducking Tom Aspinall. I mean, he can say what he wants, but actions speak louder than words.
Sean O'Malley shared his perspective on Jon Jones' legacy, emphasizing that Jones will always be remembered as one of the greatest fighters, no matter the outcome of his future bouts. However, O'Malley pointed out that if Jones chooses to fight Tom Aspinall and loses, some may argue that he was already past his prime. He noted the risk Jones takes in potentially harming his legacy by facing such a tough challenge without securing a victory.
Tom Aspinall? God damn. It's like you risk going down as no matter what, you don't have to fight again. Greatest of all time, people will say that. You're the greatest of all time. Greatest of all time, Jon Jones. Or you risk it, go fight Tom Aspinall, possibly lose, and then it's like, he was the greatest. Then they're saying, yeah, but he wasn't in his prime.
Stipe Miocic also praised Jon Jones as one of the greatest fighters of all time, highlighting his strategic mindset and unpredictable style. He cautioned Aspinall not to make the same mistakes he did when facing Jones, like taking heavy hits such as the liver punch. Despite this, Miocic acknowledged Aspinall's toughness, strength, agility, and his ability to remain calm under pressure. He believes that if Aspinall stays focused and composed, he has a strong chance of performing well against Jones.
With Jones, he's as good as one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time. He's just smart, real tricky, but
get booked with him and Jon Jones. What's the best advice you'd give Tom Aspinall?
Don't do what I did.
Avoid the liver shot.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? But I think Tommy, that guy, he's super tough and he hits hard. He moves well. He's a big man. I think that he stays calm on the situation, and whatever happens, he just stays calm. I think he'll be fine. He pitches shots. He's smart what he does, and I think he'll do fine.
Joe Rogan expressed concerns about whether Jon Jones could overpower someone like Tom Aspinall, a natural heavyweight with impressive speed and movement. Rogan described Aspinall as an extraordinary athlete, faster than any heavyweight he's ever seen, even outpacing Francis Ngannou. He cautioned that Aspinall's rare combination of size, speed, and skill could pose a serious challenge, even for the highly accomplished Jon Jones.
You do that with a guy like Aspinall, who's a legit 255-pound natural who moves like he's 80 pounds lighter. He's a freak, man.
Yeah.
Aspinall's a freak. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem.
Former UFC legend Chael Sonnen confidently stated that the Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall fight is definitely going to happen, and it's coming next. He emphasized that Jon Jones would only return to face Aspinall, although he couldn't entirely rule out the possibility of Aspinall fighting someone else if necessary. Sonnen also dismissed rumors about Jones delaying or avoiding the fight, calling them false. According to him, when Dana White makes the call, Jones agrees, and that's the only moment that truly matters.
This fight is going to happen. In fact, this fight is going to happen next. You will not see Jon Jones fight and it not be Tom Aspinall. I can give you that as an assurance. I can't do it the other way. I cannot tell you that there's no scenario where Tom Aspinall fights and it would be against anyone but Jon Jones. I can't do that. I'm very close. I can go further. You will see Jon Jones fight Tom Aspinall. All the reports that you've heard that Jon is holding this fight up, they're not true. Jon has gone to the media and he's had his fun. The litmus test is when that phone rings and it's Dana White. What is said in that moment? That's the only way you go into the category of delaying and or ducking. That did not happen. That is a false report.
UFC legend Georges St. Pierre also gave his thoughts on the potential fight, expressing deep respect for Jon Jones and calling him probably the best fighter that ever lived. St. Pierre said that if he had to choose someone in their prime for a hand-to-hand battle in the Coliseum, his pick would be Jones. He emphasized how hard it is to argue against Jones's greatness in the sport.
Jon Jones, you know, it's probably the best fighter that ever lives. You know, talk about if I have to choose someone in his prime that I put in the Coliseum hand to hand, I think I would be Jon Jones. You know, it's hard to deny that.
UFC heavyweight Cain Velasquez also shared his thoughts on the potential matchup, stating that stylistic matchups are what make the heavyweight division exciting. While he expressed respect for Tom Aspinall's achievements, Cain was direct when asked if Aspinall could defeat Jon Jones. He didn't believe Tom would win.
You know, for me, it's obviously it's the matchups. You know, like the matchups was what makes everything interesting. So I think it's great what he's doing.
You think he beats Jon Jones? Do you think he beats Jon?
No, I don't think he does.
Cain Velasquez further explained that after observing Tom Aspinall's fights, he noticed specific patterns in his striking. He believes Jon Jones would quickly identify and exploit those weaknesses, given his reputation as a master strategist who carefully studies his opponents. With Jones's high fight IQ and thorough preparation, Cain doesn't think Aspinall would be able to defeat him.
So me just watching him, I kind of see his pattern a little bit, and his striking, the way he comes in and strikes. I think Jon sees it too.
Okay.
So I think with that, just because again, he studies, man. He does his homework. You know, he's a master at this. He analyzes things. He studies you over and over again. I think just for that reason, he's gonna know what to do. So I don't think he beats Jon.
Curtis Blaydes gave Tom Aspinall a slight 55% edge over Jon Jones, but acknowledged that beating Jones would be far from easy. Blaydes highlighted Jones's extensive skill set and championship experience, stressing that these qualities make him a constant threat, ensuring that any fight with him would present a major challenge for Aspinall.
I think Aspinall beats him.
Yeah, I would pick him. Like, I would go 55% him. Obviously, it's not gonna be a landslide. Like, we're going against Jon Jones. He's a legend. You got all the weapons.
Cain Velasquez emphasized that although Tom Aspinall is explosive and effective, his striking style is fairly straightforward. He often attacks with full force, lunging in a way that makes his rhythm easier to read. Kane noted that against someone like Jon Jones, who carefully analyzes his opponents and adjusts his game plan accordingly, this predictability could be a major weakness. For that reason, Kane believes Jones would be able to defeat Aspinall.
The way that he comes in and fights, he doesn't have a pattern that's somewhat easier to find when he comes in and strikes. And I think you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of things come with that. It's disguising your pattern. It's, you know, throwing fakes here and there before. But when he comes to attacks, he comes in and attacks. It's 100% full go. You know, he comes in, glides in, lunges in, and does his attack. Again, not that it's not effective. It is. You know, he's done great things with it. I mean, look where he's at now. Not taking anything away from him. No, he is. But I think with the type of guy that Jon Jones is, I think he studies him and he beats him because of that.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.